organized labor, and others that tend to be democratic and with which they have done rather well. In one of the ironies of modern American politics, it's been the Republicans and not the Democrats who have prospered under the post-Watergate, which is kind of interesting. And the post-Watergate reform legislation essentially was this, that there ought to be limits on what people can contribute, and it was put rather low, $1,000 in the primary and $1,000 in the general election. That hadn't been raised in 12 years. A limit on what individuals can give, and full disclosure, so that if I get a contribution from someone who is an unsavory character, it's on my report, and my opponent is free to make an issue of it. In fact, Senator Lowell Weicker, who was a member of the Watergate Committee, pointed out yesterday in debate on the Senate floor that the Watergate Committee specifically recommended against public funding and spending limits. And so I think that's an interesting indication of what the committee that looked at the biggest government corruption possibly in our history, public funding and spending limits,